After Flash is woken up with the news that Captain Cold killed an innocent person, Barry quickly runs off to arrest Snart, only to realize his suit ring wasn't on him, causing him to trip on a staircase and hit his head hard, getting even more confused when he looks up and simply comes face to face with his mother, alive. Barry then hugs her tightly, emotional, but also immediately realizes something is wrong since on top of all this craziness, he also can no longer feel his powers. Barry then decides to head to Gotham and go to Wayne Manor to see if he could ask Batman for help, but as he actually arrives there, the mansion seems to be abandoned and he decides to head straight down to the Batcave, where Barry is immediately slammed onto a table with full force. And the second he looks at Batman's face and realizes that isn't Bruce Wayne, he finally understands he is not in his original timeline. Thomas then begins beating Barry for mentioning the name of his dead son and quickly breaks one of his fingers as well, demanding answers about who he was and why he was there. After Barry explains that he used to have super speed and was part of the Justice League alongside Bruce in his universe, he goes on to say that in his reality, it was Thomas and Martha who died, and it was Bruce Wayne who became Batman, not Thomas. And even though Thomas remains somewhat suspicious, Barry's ring suddenly falls out of his coat, and he says he would prove it by showing his hero suit, only to find the Reverse Flash's suit inside instead of his own. Barry then explains that his nemesis, Eobard Thawne, was surely behind all of this, and that he had already altered the timeline multiple times, once again asking Thomas for help to fix reality. And since Thomas Wayne would actually do anything to replace this reality with one where his son survived, the two finally align, and Barry says the first step was recovering his powers. Barry and Thomas now begin working together and build an electric chair connected to various chemicals where Barry would strap himself in, hoping that a lightning bolt would strike him and restore his powers. However, after he nearly dies when the first attempt goes wrong, Thomas says they should calm down, and Barry responds insisting they need to try again. And when Thomas says he was lucky to have survived, Barry retorts that he didn't care and that he couldn't stay there and eventually forget his wife or his friends, like Bruce himself did. And as Thomas is convinced and starts leading Barry back to the electric chair, suddenly a much larger bolt of lightning strikes Barry directly and Thomas is sent flying off the rooftop. But before he fell to his certain death, Barry at the last second saves him, revealing he truly managed to recover his powers.